Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into GavsWeatherVids Sunday Roundup for March 2025. So here we go again, we've got another eclectic mix of this and that. We're going to be looking at things like solar activity, you see surface temperature anomalies, the QBO, the AO, the NEO, and much more as well. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and I shall talk you through GavsWeatherVids Sunday Roundup for March 2025. In a moment. Just say back first, a bit of news at 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we have also released the fourth update for summer 2025. That's a QBO special. We're going to be live at 6:30, 6:30 with your 10 to 14 there, so I shall see you a little bit later on for that one. Okay, let's start off with solar activity. So this episode, this is looking on our side of this day from solarham.net. Not that many sunspot regions, to be honest. There's a few of them, but not that many. Despite that, though, they're reporting at Solarham that solar activity is at high levels and is expected to remain at moderate high levels for the next 3 days as well, I think. This is the GavsWeatherVids Sunday Roundup Solar Activity Tracker sent through by Shrine. So this is depicting each individual day's worth of sunspot activity all the way back to New Year's Day 2023, some time ago now. Now, you can see that we did get the first peak of solar cycle 25 of the current solar cycle back last summer. That's when the orange spots and orange line went up to that level. Since then, we've backed off from that first peak in terms of the daily sunspot numbers, but we're still at a high level because we're around solar maximum, of course, just not quite reaching the level we peaked at last summer. We're currently just here. So sorry everyone, we're currently just here with our daily sunspot numbers. So actually quite a lowish level in terms of daily sunspot numbers at the moment, but that of course doesn't tell you how much energy those sunspots are emitting. So that's how, even with like not all that many sunspots on a day-by-day basis, you can still get to like a high, moderate or high level of solar activity. You can see the green lines should be 30 and 6, and the green blue lines should be 30 and 60 day averages. They lifted up, when we had that first peak. Since then, they've dropped down, but they are, pretty stable, actually. The green line going up and down a little bit more than the blue line. That's because it's a 30-day average. That's prone to moving slightly more than like a 60-day average would be. But generally looking quite consistent at the moment in terms of both the 30 and 60-day average there. This is also from Shrine. This is showing how we're doing for solar cycle 25 compared to the previous two solar cycles. So we've got solar cycle 25 just here, got solar cycle. Then we've got solar cycle 24 just there, and we've got solar cycle 23 just here. So you can see the first, this is monthly sunspot numbers, by the way. You can see the first peak of solar cycle 25 occurring just there, back last summer. And since then, the green light and green orange spots are down here. So, not as high as they were during the peak last summer, but still at a pretty high level. This should be, so we think, well, this definitely looks like the first peak of solar cycle 25, but it's likely to be a second peak. Most solar cycles have two peaks, and it'll be interesting which out of the two is the, is VP for this solar cycle. So we can expect the green line and the green spots to lift upwards again at some point within the next sort of 6-9 months or so, I would have thought. That happened in the last solar cycle. So solar cycle 24 had two peaks. It had a peak in 2011 and a peak in 2014. In between, 2012 and the first half of 2013 was down there at a lower level. So what's happening at the moment is we're backing off on those daily sunspot numbers on the monthly progression. Is not unusual. It's not untypical what happened in the last solar cycle. It's just that the last solar cycle was quite a bit weaker, and so the drop down, if you like, was at a lower level compared to where we currently are. We also had two peaks in solar cycle 23 as well. So it had a peak in 2000 and a peak in 2002. The first peak was B maximum of solar cycle 23 occurring in 2000. And interestingly, in the last solar cycle 24, it's a second peak in February 2014 that was B maximum of that solar cycle. You can see that solar cycle 24 is somewhere in between. Solar cycle 25, I should say, somewhere in between 24 and 23. So at one point we was expecting solar cycle 25 to be about on a par with solar cycle 24. That's because it had quite a long solar minimum again, as we did in from 23 to 24. So back at the start of the solar cycle, number 25, we thought that it was probably going to come out quite similar to the previous solar cycle, but that hasn't been the case. Nevertheless, we aren't as high as we was with solar cycle 23, so 23 we was up there, 24 is down here, and as I say for 25, we're somewhere in the middle, but it is a stronger solar cycle than the previous solar cycle. Definitely no grand solar minimum. Whatever happened to grand solar minimum? You don't hear so much about that these days, do you? All gone very, very quiet on the grand solar minimum. Maybe solar cycle 26 will get that theory back on track. Who knows? Thank you to Shryan for sending through the solar trackers. This is Rich. Thanks to Ricardo Draw for sending mystery, Mr. Showing Spotted Days and the current spotted stretch. So at the moment, current spotted stretch is 0 days, given that in 2025 every day has had sunspots. Of course you expect that because we are at solar maximum. Solar cycle 24 also, I want to talk about the year of 2024, also had every day with sunspots, and 2023 was the same. 2022 had 1 day without any sunspots, but we're going to go all the way back to 2021, some time ago now. We had 64 days without sunspots. So, of course, 2020 and particularly 2019 were had a lot of spotless days, very quiet, given that 2019 was the solar minimum year. Now, our comparable year from the last solar cycle is 2014. Interestingly, 2014 had 1 day, despite being solar maximum year, it had 1 day without sunspots, telling you that strange things can happen, particularly when you're in a very weak solar cycle as we was with 24. I wouldn't expect that to occur in 2025, so I expect every day this year to have sunspots, and our comparable year next year will be 2015, so I'd expect in 2026 every day again we'll have sunspots. It'll be 2027, I think that will be the first day we begin, the first year I should say, but we begin to move towards solar minimum. So 2017, which will be the comparable year, no, 2016, sorry, which will be the comparable year for 2027. That had 32 days without sunspots. So we've got to wait another year or two to begin to move towards solar minimum. Solar minimum itself should occur around 2030. Thank you, Shadow Shreyan, and thank you, Shadow Richard, for the solar data. Right, moving on. This is how the oceans are looking, or were looking. They did last month's Sunday roundup as of the 21st of February. So we've got the four areas of interest. Sorry, everyone. Got the Enso region just here. Got the Indian Ocean over here. Got the Northern Pacific up there, particularly focused on the Northeast Pacific, and got the Atlantic Ocean over there. Right, that's how things looked last month. This is the latest. So in terms of the Enso region, well, landing here. So landing, it continues to fizzle out there, and a bit of an El Nino type look to the eastern portion of the Equatorial Pacific Ocean now. I have to say, warm waters are gathering off the coast of Peru, but then again, those are shallow waters, so they are quite prone, to temperature fluctuations and deviations and whatnot due to the local weather conditions. Really, it's always in the deeper waters of the Equatorial Pacific Ocean that you have to look. So landing and continue to unravel. We're basically out of landing you now. Where we go after that remains to be seen. In the Northern Pacific, that's how we're looking right now. Let's go back to last month. Not much change there. Maybe a little bit of cooling has occurred in this northeastern Pacific, but northeastern quarter of the Pacific, of the Northern Pacific, but it doesn't look particularly cold, to be honest. So then in the Indian Ocean, situation last month, situation this month, so generally warming up across most parts of the Indian Ocean. And then in the Atlantic Ocean. Again, we're over here now. That's how things were looking last month. This is the latest. So, I mean, slightly cooler than it was last month. Still large portions of the North Atlantic are warmer than average up here in particular. And around there, we have got some warmer waters, interestingly, gathering off the coast of Africa. Again, those are going to be quite shallow-ish waters, I think, there. That's the GWV Islands just here. It does look a little bit cooler there compared to last month. So, that's interesting. If those cooler waters were to start spreading out through the subtropical Atlantic, then maybe we would have a rather quieter hurricane season this year. But it's very, very early days, and as I say, these are quite shallow waters toward the coast of Africa there. So I think we've got to wait and see on that, and wait to confirm how things are looking in terms of hurricane season by the time we get into the summer. This is how the 7-day trend, 7-day change is looking. So most parts of the Pacific Ocean are warming as we unravel the La Nina signature. We've warmed up here in the northeast Pacific as well. Most parts of the Indian Ocean seem to be warming, and many of the Atlantic, well, we're warming in some areas there, and there, in particular, cooling around here, and the subtropical Atlantic has cooled slightly in some places as well through the past 7 days. Southern Oscillation Index, which is an index that's reflecting the atmosphere, say, in the Southern Pacific Ocean, measuring air pressure between Darwin and Tahiti, are looking like this. So we're still seeing positivity of the Southern Oscillation Index, telling us that the atmospheric state is still more towards La Nina than it is towards El Nino. So when the atmospheric state is in a La Nina type situation, you have positivity of the Southern Oscillation Index. Where the atmospheric state is in an El Nino type situation, then you will have negativity of the SOI. So here's the two columns, Tahiti and Darwin here for barometric pressure. Remember, daily SOI number comes through just there. And so 17th of March at plus 10, the 19th of March at plus 17, 23rd of March at plus 5, 25th of March at plus 10, 27th of March at plus 13, 28th of March plus 16, and finally 29th of March at plus 14. So consistent positivity of the Southern Oscillation Index at the moment. The SOI 30-day average, which is red line just here, is in quite a positive state actually at the moment. So around the start of the month, we're down here close to neutral, but we have lifted up into quite strong positivity. So in terms of the atmospheric setup, the La Nina hasn't finished, but in terms of what the ocean is doing, the ocean is definitely shutting down La Nina, and we can expect that the atmospheric setup will respond. I don't think the La Nina will ever be officially designated, by the way. I don't think it reached the requirement. It will reach the requirements to ever be designated. Probably more about that in next month's Sunday Roundup, though. CFS is currently looking like this, so we are confirmed. We've got our temperature on the side here, dates monthly period on the bottom, so we confirm we are back to ENSO neutral conditions now, and black dash line shows that we're going to stay at ENSO neutral through the remainder of the spring. Into the summer and the autumn, though, we do see the black dash line lifting up. There is a slight hint there from the CFS B2 that we might see So I get it. Well, we might see a weak El Nino, weak to moderate El Nino starting to get going. There is quite a bit of scatter within that. Definitely looks like we're not going back to La Nina, famous last words, through the second half of this year. So it looks like it will either be ENSO neutral on the warm side, or we will go into a weak or possibly a moderate La Nina. Remember, we are at the spring predictability barrier now, though. So try saying that. We've had a few glasses of magic water at the spring predictability barrier. So that means that it's more uncertain right now. We'll know a little bit more by about June, I would have thought, where we're going with ENSO through the second half of this year. Moving on to the QBO, quasi-biennial oscillation, we have the number in for February. So, of course, we're in westerly phase of QBO at the moment. We did a flip from the east-west QBO back in the summer. We had quite a strong westerly QBO. November's QBO number came out at plus 13.78. That looks like it's the peak for this westerly QBO phase. December came in at plus 12.70. And then January came in at plus 12.11. February came in at plus 10.55. So a bit weaker for February. And I think we can now expect the westerly QBO to weaken through the remainder of this spring. We're expecting to get the flip from the west to the east QBO phase probably around May or June. That is what our fall summer update is based on. This is from NASA, so we've finished everything that these are the levels of the atmosphere. We've got 10 HPA with stratosphere just here, 30 to 50 HPA. That is the boundary level of the atmosphere called the troposphere. That's where weather is taking place. So the brown, sandy brown colour here is the westerly QBO phase that we are currently in and have been in since 2024. This is the next easterly QBO phase waiting for us at the top of the atmosphere in the stratosphere. No sign of it descending all that strongly at the moment, but we are thinking that through May into the summer, we're going to see the descent of the easterly QBO from the stratosphere, and so the easterly QBO phase will begin early to mid-summer, we are thinking, for 2025, and the winter, because it is primarily a winter drive, of course, for QBO, we're thinking that winter of 25-26 will be an easterly QBO winter. Arctic oscillation observed and forecast looks like this. So black line shows where we've been with the AO. The red line's at the GFS ensemble. So forecasting Arctic oscillation to go. So since the middle of February, when we went to a record-breaking negative AO level, we rebounded that. We've generally been in a positive phase of the Arctic oscillation ever since. We're currently positive with the AO and the GFS ensembles are forecasting for the next week or so. The AO will stay positive as well. We do see further into April the AO reverting to more of a neutral phase, but there's no sign of a negative AO. Of course, we're waiting to see if we get a tropospheric response to the sudden stratospheric warming that we've been talking about over the past few weeks. Oh dear, so sorry everyone. We're waiting to see whether we get a tropospheric response to the SSW. If we did get a tropospheric response by a northern blocking, then expect to see the AO going negative there. But there's not really much sign of that, I have to say. So this could well be a sudden stratospheric warming event that does not have a tropospheric response, or certainly not a notable tropospheric response via negativity of the AO and high latitude blocking. Now, we're looking at the NAO. Again, that's been in a pretty positive phase as well through most of the second half of winter, actually. We did have a run of negativity in early January, but since then, the NAO has been in a generally quite positive phase with a few exceptions here. Now, we're currently positive with the North Atlantic oscillation. GFS ensembles are forecasting that the NAO through April, first half of April anyway, will revert to more of a neutral to perhaps slightly weakly negative phase there. So we see the NAO coming down, but the AO stays well and truly in neutral to positive territory. There's no sign particularly of anything notably cold coming up in terms of blocking. Eurasian snow cover and Arctic sea ice to finish. So the snow line has retreated back into Russia now. We still have plenty of snow cover across central northern parts of Scandinavia and Nordic regions. Both southern Sweden is, or central and southern Sweden is largely snow free. I think that's pretty typical for what we would expect to see at this point of the year. Maybe we would expect the snow line to be a bit further towards western Russia. It's still quite early in the spring, but of course we will see the snow line retreating. Eventually, the whole of Russia and Siberia, will lose snow cover except in mountainous areas. The yellow area here is Arctic sea ice. We've just reached the peak for Arctic sea ice. So let's end with that, shall we? So this is 2025 so far, beginning in January. This blue line here reaching the peak, now starting to ease down slightly, I think. Right, well, let's see how we're doing compared to our most recent 10-year average, which is 2011-2020. They're actually under par in terms of our most recent 10-year average for this year's maximum for Arctic extent. That means we're going to be under 2001-10, and we're going to be under 91 to 2000, and we're going to be further under 1979 to 1990. So we, at the moment, we're under all of our most recent 10-year averages for Arctic sea ice extent. Let's see how we're doing compared to recent years. Those we'll get rid of that, and that. Let's compare it to 2024. So we're under last year, quite significantly so actually, for this year's sea ice extent there in the Arctic. 2023, so we're quite close to 2023. We peaked quite close to 2023, but slightly under it, if anything. 2022, a little bit under 2022 as well. 2021, we came out under 2021. We came out under 2020. Well, 2020 did have quite an early significant drop, so we're about to reach parity, probably, with 2020. 2019 looks like that. We come out under that one as well. 2018, we're on a par with 2018, very much so. 2017, on a par with 2017 as well. 2016, slightly under that year. 2015. So we're very close to that year, and we peaked very close as well. 2014, we're under 2014. 2013, under 2013. 2012, we're quite significantly under 2012 for this year's sea ice extent maximum. Now, bear in mind, 2012 was the record minimum year. So you look at that and think we're probably going to have a record minimum, probably beat 2012, but it's not nowhere near as straightforward as that. So just because we're under 2012 for the maximum of Arctic sea ice extent doesn't mean that we will end up, under 2012 for the minimum sea ice extent in September. The blue line might in the end, do something maybe a little bit like that. Well, wait and see. We might come out under 2012, but just because we're under it now doesn't mean that we will be by September. And then any other year, I think, we're going to be underneath. So that's 2011, that is 2010, that's 2008, that's 2009, 2008, I should say, 2007. Quite close to 2007, 2006, quite close as well, 2005, 2004, etc., etc., etc. So the maximum, we're not done too well for the maximum. We'll wait and see where things go for the next 6 months as we move into the melt season. Right, we're done on the study roundup for March 2025. If you've enjoyed the video, please can you give us a like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. So everyone for doing that, and we'll do it all over again for you in April. Again, that will be the last Sunday of the month. Don't forget to check out the fall summer updates, the QBO special, quite an interesting watch. I'm going to be back at 6:30 with your 10 to 14 day, half-hour live stream 10 to 14 day at 6:30. Thanks to show to Shrine for Rich and to Richard for all the help on the video this month again. Thanks so much, guys. Great job. Hashtag Team Gav. We'll end it there then. So for the study roundup for March 2025, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.